Hi, welcome to day 10 of my sort of own personal mini Moog Fest. Deep into self-isolation now. I've looked at the Voyager, the Mini Moog, Sub 37, the Grandmother, the Mother 32, and on my Moogerfoogers we've looked at the phaser, ring modulator, chorus delay, and now the MIDI MuRF. And we've been accompanied by the CP251 throughout, but the Voyager expander's not had a look in yet because I can't fit it all on the desk. So if you've stuck with me throughout this, well done, congratulations, and thanks for watching. So what is the MIDI MuRF? It's essentially two filter banks, one for bass and one for mids, each consisting of 8 different frequency bands. And as you heard on the intro, it's not a straight up just a filter bank, it's a filter bank that's got patterns built in, sort of like a mini sequencer. And I'll demonstrate as much as I can in this video. So let's put it onto pattern 1 first, and pattern 1 is essentially no pattern. It's just the filter bank, so we can hear the filter banks. Let's just put it in bypass and hear what we got on the synth. Oh, nothing, as I'll turn that down. Oh, let's turn this off. As I'm recording this in stereo, when I put this in bypass, it's only coming through one ear, which is a bit annoying. But just to put a simple sawtooth on, okay, now we'll bring this back in. Turn the mix fully up, so it's just playing what's coming through the filters. You've got the mix knob on the top here. So, all down, don't hear anything. And you hear them coming through the left and right ears because I've got it in stereo. If you've only got mono plugged in, if you've only got one output lead in, it comes out through mono. But for these nice lush effects I'm doing, it's nice to have it in stereo. So yeah. Lovely, and they're the mids. So in the bass we've also got so just on its own, before we start playing with the patterns, it's a beautiful filter bank. Let's put it back on the mids. And a lovely way of getting stereo from a mono synth. Just turn it all down a little bit. And you might hear a slight phase in there, and that's because you can use an LFO to sweep those filter bands, which is what I'm doing here with the CP251. I'm not using that LFO. I'll just unplug that, make it look a bit simpler. Basically, I'm sending a control signal from this mixer here, and you've got an offset here of +5 volts on the main mixer here. And the more voltage you put through that, the higher the frequency of the LFO. And you can use a pedal to do this as well. So let's have a listen. Let's put them all up full. Sounds a bit like a drunken vocoder, doesn't it? So 2 filter banks, each with 8 bands, a drive circuit, and the ability to sweep it as well. So let's move on to the patterns. So we've got 24 patterns in total, 12 for the bass and 12 for the mids. So let's stick everything on full. Put pattern 1 on, or pattern 2 I should say. Pattern 1's flat. And what it's doing there, it's got a little sequencer in it, and it's plucking out different bands at each step. So and Soundtower have done an app for it. It's a free app that you can download where you can edit those patterns as well. But as I mentioned with the Voyager, I struggle with these Soundtower apps. I find them really difficult to get my head around. But it is there, and it is useful, and means you can just dig in a little bit further. So let's go back to one of these. And now you can adjust the level of each of those filter bands. So alternator coming out of left and right. So I've got all the sort of the 2, 4, 6 and 8. It's all coming out of my right speaker. And 1, 3, 5 and 7 come out the left. So it's incredibly flexible so far, isn't it? But then we've got the envelope as well. And you can go from having no envelope, so it just plays smooth all the way through the note, to playing all at the start or all at the end of the step. So a huge variation on just a single pattern. It's really nice on pads, actually. It's a shame I haven't got a poly on the desk, but as I say, it's not big enough to fit them on. And this is Moogfest after all. So in the intro there, I played a sort of paddy sound. Effectively, there's a little bit of PWM and a little bit of a slow sort of attack and decay. Let's try that. Back to PWM. Let's just take the pattern off for a second. Turn everything on full. So that's what I had at the start, so let's go back and play that again. And then I can make that really, really subtle as well. great way of adding a little bit of movement in a track, and people don't quite know what's happening. There just seems to be just one note playing in a drum loop, but it's sort of moving around. Really nice. Then we have the rate knob, which I think we all know what that's going to do. And I did have another one of these to play them in stereo, but they're so sort of complex on their own. It's just all a bit crazy. But I do think they work really well with a reverb. And as I haven't got a Moog reverb, I don't think they've ever made one, have they? Maybe they did back in the day. But let's just bring that back in again. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that shed some light on the MIDI MuRF, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of them as well. And I hope you're all staying safe. And if you did enjoy that, do think about subscribing or even visit my Patreon page. Any support for the channel really helps. I'm thinking about putting them all together in a single track, a single jam demo. So that'll be coming up, but I'm not promising it'll be tomorrow because it might take a bit of setting up. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. And I hope you've enjoyed my mini Moog Fest.